Hey, everybody, it's 6 o'clock. I guess we can call this thing to order. So let's see, it looks like we're missing Mr. Johnson and Mr. Gregory. But we're pretty good. All right. So if you guys have had enough time to review the minutes from March 13th, when you are comfortable with the minutes, entertain a motion to approve. Perfect. And a second. That's good. Thank you. All righty, so our discussion items for the evening obviously is parks.
We're gonna vote. We're gonna vote on the motion.
Oh, I guess so, yeah. Actually. I'm sorry, I'm moving a little too fast. So we'll take I guess all in favor of approving the minutes, will say aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Distractions and moving way too fast, sorry. All righty, discussions items for this evening is gonna be parks, obviously. If Cliff could give us a pool update.
Moving forward, I mean, everything's in line. We're gonna try to do the training here this year. Carrie's got some information on that.
Sure.
So, Amy Gerald is going to come to our pool. She's a American Red Cross certified. She works for the Corps of Engineers in Kentucky, $200 a person. And it's one day. She'll send out the email for everybody to do their online stuff, the written stuff, and then do the actual certification. May 4th, May 11th is a rain date case. But, everybody that I've talked to, the guards that I have that need the certification are excited and would rather do it one day here on a Saturday versus going to Jimmy Floyd or the Civic Center to do Friday 2 hours, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah. That
So,
makes perfect
and it's gonna save almost $400 in the long run too. I mean, not a whole lot of money, but
a whole lot more convenient, right?
yes, sir.
Mr. Clinton, before the electric is open. Yeah, we're gonna start on next week. We're gonna start getting it open and running and warming. It's, you know, we may offset that $400 in chemical costs, but we at least need to try to get it done here one time and see how it works out. It may be great, and you know, we won't know till we try. We talked about getting Mark Carmen to do it for a couple of years, get him trained in to where he can do it, but that fell through. So we've talked about trying it for years, so we at least need to try it, I think.
I like the plan. I just want to make sure you felt like we could get running by the full.
Yes, sir.
Question, would we consider maybe reaching out to like Lafayette or Carthage and say, hey, we're gonna have training here if, you know, if you wanna send your people down?
She already does Lafayette's.
Okay, okay.
That's how I knew about hers, because I set her up to do theirs for several years.
I guess that works pretty well.
Well, I mean, it's convenient, you know, and especially we have 3 15-year-olds and for their parents to bring them and do, you know, in one day from 9 to 3. And then if someone needs more one-on-one working, she was great with that. She sent all the certifications, it was one payment, and then everything came to us. We didn't have to get it from the kids and all that good stuff. It went smoothly. I mean, I don't, like Cliff said, it may not be necessarily we may spend $400 in chemicals, you know, trying to get ready for that day.
That's
though.
okay. Mr. Rowley?
Taking off what Mr. Gregory said though, if we were to allow, would there be an issue? Like, let's say we have some kids absent, would make them allow our kids to go there and work with them if we, so
Yeah,
would
we
we,
could do that. That wouldn't be an issue.
and what I'm getting at is how much availability of room is available in what she's doing? How many people can she have? Is there a maximum? Is it?
I mean, her personally, she doesn't like to do over 15 a day. You know, I mean, she allows, you know, the day to,
That's why I wanted to ask that part of it, yeah.
that's
So
what
we'd be pretty close to 15 in our piece. That's why I was wondering for that part.
Perfect. Do we have anything else in the pool?
Got bids in from both of our chemical suppliers and they're the same price. I mean, one's $5 cheaper on one, higher on the other, so on something else. So it's about the same. We're ready to go. It's just a matter of getting the water warmed up.
Perfect. Well, I jumped over the playground for reasons, because I've got some other stuff to add to it, but, do we have a playground update? Go ahead. Sorry.
One question on the pool, we had mentioned last month that, you know, trying to reach out to the lifeguards we had hired and seeing about availability, you know, in August, like on weeknight or indoor weekends. Have we talked to any of them on that? Okay.
Yeah, I've only talked to our managers, which they're in college, like one of them goes to Auburn and that say, so like they have to be back like around, I think like the 24th or 25th of August. Or that's just for our managers. Now, I don't know about, you know, the ones that aren't in college, so.
Okay. I just knew that was something that we had discussed last month, so I just wondered if we had an update on it. Okay.
So now we're moving on to the playground. Do you have an update for us, Mr. Saley?
Fence discussion, so I'll have to add, there's no updates. We're still, as far as I know, we're still on schedule. I haven't had a phone call saying that the whip's gonna be laid or something's, happened. So I feel like we're still on schedule with the playground equipment.
Perfect. So I have some notes here, it says regarding the Blue Cross Blue Shield grant. So Crystal Justice was unable to attend this evening, but she has provided a list of projects funded by Blue Cross Blue Shield on the last page of the packet. You guys want to take a good look at that? Yes.
Before we go there, do we want to discuss the playground wall conversation or do we?
Oh,
want
we can, yeah, absolutely. If you'd like
I
to.
think Mr. Lee had said for the project and the speed of it, he wanted us to sort of look at.
All right, can we
There.
do that? Yeah, we can do that.
If it's gonna be a part of the park, it's gonna get rolling pretty soon. So we
Absolutely.
make some decisions there.
We're
If this is
looking at
gonna be
the-
part of the park.
Looking at these wooden stakes with the donor names, you have stuff you'd like to talk about that on?
Yeah. We went and counted, we have somewhere between 11 and 1,500, I'm gonna say around 12 or 1,300 names altogether. Some of them are in great shape, some of them are broken in half. My guys estimate about 50% of them are damaged somewhere, but most of that's toward the bottom where they were close to the ground in the mulch and stuff like that. So they'll have to be cut off if we're gonna reuse these names, these same boards. And it's just a matter of what y'all wanna do with them. We can build a wall and attach them to a wall, just cut off all of everything but the name and puzzle them in. We talked about leaving a little piece on the ends of some of them and making a climbing wall so high, you know, for smaller kids just to climb on. We talked about, maybe attaching them to the bathroom on that, making that a memorial wall around the bathroom. That. Brick, as far as turning the names into bricks. If y'all wanted to try to do that, the bricks are, it's a fundraiser type brick is what we found. They're $100 to sell them, and their only actual cost to produce them is $18. So give you $82 a brick to go towards turning these wooden fence posts into bricks, so we could maybe have them laid into the sidewalk. You know, instead of having a pure concrete sidewalk, we could have it laid concrete and brick. Another thing we talked about is a brick wall. Every 4 feet, we could have a brick, and then the other 4 feet could be the metal rail fence that they're talking about doing. Amy said they were concerned about the warranty of the fence if we did that, but I don't I don't necessarily know how good a warranty on a fence like that would be anyway, I mean.
I know
Those are the
we've had this-
suggestions and ideas I've come up with, and I mean, that's all I've got, folks, that's.
We've had a discussion regarding a plaque possibly as well. Chris,
Sorry, I showed this piece of news in the packet Amy emailed out, so I was showing it to the ladies at the help center this afternoon, some of them, have some of those planks and they all like the wall options in it, but and either they put this on a plaque and returning the planks to the people who donated them, which was something I know we had mentioned. But so, looks like, I think, I mean, that's a very small sample, but like I said, this. All the ones I talked to, like the wall concept.
like the one around the plate, around the restroom.
I don't know just about a location, but like the,
Yeah.
some sort of like one of those, or even the plaque, rather than using the planks per se.
The thing we gotta remember about this wood is it's old enough to vote. I mean, we're getting up into the rotten years of this wood. And if we're gonna reuse it, it's gonna need to be really kind of sheltered, and the bathroom has a good eave all the way around it to shelter it, and keep it out of the weather. I wouldn't recommend us going all the way to the floor with it or to the ground. But so far up, waist level up to eye level or something like that. And bear in mind, we're talking about, I'm gonna say 1,300 that we're gonna have to do something with. That don't sound like much, but I've got a 16-foot trailer stacked this high, full of them. They're stacked neatly. They're not just thrown on there. So, I mean, it's overwhelming how many we really have, we're gonna have to deal with.
No,
How many bricks do we already have from the piece down here, do you think?
Not many.
Okay.
I'd say 150.
Just a thought on this piece of where we're looking at. If we've got 150 there that we need to put somewhere, if we built a brick something, maybe we put those on the outside edge and we put a plaque in the center, sounds like it'd be a lot easier. If we got a plaque made, then bringing 1,600 or 1,300 wood staves that we still gonna have to do some work on and restain, I'm sure some of that work.
a lot of ceiling, obviously,
A
because they're
lot of work still gonna have to go into place on those, and then maintenance work we have to go on down the road. A brick, something as a signage, which I really thought the idea of a signage with park rules in that same plaque, and here's donators' names, was a really good option, and probably the least maintenance needed as it goes on. I don't know where the group feels, but I just feel like
like these
that.
bronze plaques like out on these buildings here. Yeah, you could do something really nice like that.
All the names was going,
County seal on there, the park name and,
and the rules that
I
go
like
with it.
yeah.
I like a plaque with the names and.
rid of the wood.
I think we're better off to get rid of them.
That wood will never, I mean, it's always gonna be, you'll be chasing that a long time. You're gonna be sealing it all the time.
I mean, the trailer can be pulled down, and when we say get rid of it, not reinstall. Let me state that the way I mean to state that. The option to come grab your piece of wood, we can set it up somewhere and say, hey, here's A through this, and whatever through this, I'm sure we would.
I don't. But the only person I know that may have a list would be Jerry Ford. That would be the only.
But you got all the staves, so we could go through and get the names off and put those. And I know it'd take a little bit of time, but one time,
Sure, but
put them in an
it can be done.
alphabetical order or some alphabetical set, and they can come through and pick up their names. I think that's our best route and looks the nicest at this park. Is even if we promise people to use those bricks again, we can use those name bricks and a little bit more brick around a wall, put the ends on a wall and something to put a plaque on that here's your rules for the park. And here's the names of those that, you can have a statement and we can remind them that those plaques stood there. They can do something of that nature if that's where they want the wood staves. But there it is. I think that's our best, in my view, maintenance free, or not necessarily free, but at least maintenance, low maintenance option, and it will look nice at this park.
Much more sustainable. So do we, if that looks like a direction we would like to go in, is there something we need to do regarding that? Do we need to pursue that direction?
I don't know, put that in motion.
I'm about to do that myself.
Before you do that, are we gonna open it up? It was donations to get that to begin with, wasn't it?
Those were original donations, and they got their name on it from that donation, as well as a brick.
Wanna open that up again?
To add to it,
To add to it.
these are good, valid points here.
I think it's not a bad plan at all. I don't know what the writing was originally for that donation. Did you have to, was there an amount you had to donate? Was there, it's not, I was young when that got started, I don't know. I don't know how that worked.
Say the amount, I just can't remember how much it was.
I'm sure we can find that information out. So if we had a motion to open that back up for donations to add your name to the plaque along with the existing ones, and make that part of the same motion to pursue finding out what we got to do about getting a plaque made.
Understand with that. You said there was an option at bricks at $100. If, I guess if someone wanted to go that route, but that sounded like some more work there, honestly.
I think it would be easier, if we're opening it up, I think it'd be easier to open up the plaque and not have to go get however many bricks.
Yeah, the brick, and we're looking at timelines now.
Yeah.
That's great. I like the view, I put that in the form of a motion that we look at building a wall that we install a plaque on. Did you need me to change something different? It's the same motion, right?
Yes.
That we're building a wall, that we're installing a plaque on. That will have the names of all those that have already purchased those wood, staves at one point in time. We know the names of those that were there. We'll add those to the plaque, and then we're gonna open, at a yet to be determined fee, if anybody else wants to donate to add to that, wall, their name on that wall, on that plaque, let me restate wall.
Donate to the park.
Donate to the park for that plaque. Oh, yes, correct. Donate a donation to the park for their name on the plaque. Does that sound clear?
Do we have a second on that? Go ahead, sir.
I would like to use those bricks as well, so that we're not leaving those,
100%.
making sure that those bricks are going into this structure.
We need to include about the approximate location where we might want to put this.
Bill, thank you.
Widen the sidewalk on the way in.
Yes.
Isn't that part of what we gotta do?
Yeah, all that's coming out.
Wouldn't it be nice just to widen it out and have a little base right there?
Sure.
Okay.
So the bank where you think.
We've got to widen the sidewalk going into the park right
Right.
now, so somewhere along that sidewalk.
Okay, gotcha.
What we're saying, we're just widening out that spot right there with a
Gotcha.
location for that. It doesn't take up any other area of the park.
So do we have a second? All right. So all in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Well, we got that out of the way. Let's see. Hope that's a help, Cliff.
Outfit that does a lot of that stuff, so we start there.
Thanks. All righty, so regarding that,
Next one is the Blue Cross Blue Shield.
regarding the Blue Cross Blue Shield grant, that list is provided on the back of the page, last page of the packet here. You can take a look at that. It is impressive. I will be honest with you, when I look at this, it would be an absolutely amazing opportunity for us to gain a lot of great features at the park with their assistance. So if you're looking at the Red Bull and Springs entrance on here, you add that up with their maintenance, some sort of a maintenance deal they've got with them, that's 1.8 million or 1,800,000. Is that 1 million? No, it's 1,080,000. So that is a pretty good chunk. Looks like they've been able to do quite a bit with that. So
Chairman,
Yes, sir.
comment, I met with, the grant writer from Williams and this week, and we were talking about Blue Cross grant. You'll notice on there that a lot of these grants were in bigger metropolitan areas, but she told me that Blue Cross was going to be focusing more on Middle Tennessee this year and the next year. So it's prime time for us to do this. So, I mean, it made me more optimistic than ever that we might get in line to do all this.
Yeah, in all honesty, I mean, it's a great opportunity. I don't see how we could lose on this one.
Volleyball, I don't see on. But the courts, are these the only options is that we,
I think that's just what they've done,
that's what I'm trying to.
what they've done so far.
My only concern would be, looking at it, they haven't done a lot of, and maybe there wasn't the demand for them, that, they've done one tennis court. Do we know how far back this list goes?
Like probably since they've been doing it.
More than likely, there is a link up at top that you could probably get more information on.
I mean, I fully agree with what we're asking, for. Certainly no issues there. Like I said, my only concern is they haven't done a whole lot of 4 basketball courts, 1 tennis court.
And for that matter, they've only done 1 restroom. I mean, that probably because that's what somebody asked for. I would imagine if it's on what you're asking for on the front end.
Might not be a concern, but I think it's at least worth mentioning.
Are the grants that were written for these available to be viewed by the public?
Don't have that answer.
I'm sorry, I missed your question.
We know if the grants that were written for these are available to be viewed. What I'm getting at is, did they ask for more and this is what they got, or did they get exactly what they asked for?
I do not know that answer. Ms. Crystal will probably be able to provide us with that. I know for certain that we could probably get Red Boiling Springs application.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, it's just what, did they get what they asked for? Or did they ask for a certain bunch and get that next piece? Because to me, if I'm looking at it, I still think our master plan lays out a whole lot of pieces that are on here that we were asking to do with the park master plan. They're there. I mean, the walking tracks are there. The tennis court pieces there, the basketball courts there, the baseball fields, or multi-field, I think is with bleachers is what is on our master plan as well.
Mhm.
All those pieces lay on our master plan. Literally that we've already spent the time to go ahead and we're starting to make those moves already as well. So I don't remember if pavilions were on there, but, I know we've had talk of need of a pavilion. I know there was mention of things there, but everything is there, the walking tracks, all the pieces.
And and it does lay out that they do spend money with money on refurbs. So I mean, our walking track needs refurbed. If there's in the notes over there that they've added water features, I don't know if they're asking for that, but they've added pickleball. Basketball, tennis, it's all there. Baseball, it wouldn't hurt to get new bleachers, to be honest with you. The ones we have are pretty treacherous. Just looking a little more forward on that.
Okay, that too. So maybe just think a little bit before the meeting. I know it's not on the master plan, but when we did the survey, of the public before creating that plan, if I remember correctly, I think the #1 request on there was a splash pad of some kind. And obviously I know there's headaches and potential costs involved there. Do we want to consider such a thing, or is it best left alone?
There's a lot of cons associated with splash pads. I know that Cliff's looked at it. I've looked at it extensively. And those are one of the worst petri dishes for bacteria.
Just as seasonal as a swimming pool.
Yes.
Big clothes.
And it's another one that's difficult to maintain, just,
I was specifically asked to mention it, so
Right.
I can say I've mentioned it.
there are as many splash pads being removed as there are that have been put in. They usually don't get repaired. They usually get taken out. Just being honest with you. You got diaper aged children in a pool. It's-
Anyway,
When is the submission due?
I believe it opens August 1st and ends at the end of August. So you have the month to do this.
So
We
we
want to
don't
get it done, we need to have a plan ready to be written there.
Mhm.
And I would assume if it opens at that time, we've already wrote most of the plan we would hope.
I would probably like to have it submitted somewhere around the first or second.
That's exactly what I'm getting at. It's ready to go. We're ready to submit our plan. Here's our plan. I mean, unless, to me, we've got a plan already made. We just need to ask for those things in our plan.
Mhm. And Crystal's ready to go. She just needs direction.
So
Got the plan, throw it out and say, well, we can't handle all that.
that's my thoughts exactly.
Ask for everything that's on the plan.
Here, we've got a master plan for our park. They all seem to be fitting on this piece. Let's ask for our master plan, to be, as much as can be completed there. That's why I'd like to know, is it all or none, or, is it parts? If you're asking for a bunch and they say, no, you're too small to get that, or are we cast out because of that? So.
Yeah, well, these are
We need that
great
answer.
questions when we get her back in here.
We need those answers.
Between now and
We
then.
can ask those questions. We're saying we want to go for all. Does she say, and I'd be fine with put it in a form right now. We're asking her to, hey, we want to go for it all. That's on our master plan. And if you say, hey, we don't think that's the best solution, which of these master plans are the best solution for us to be successful? Let's move in that route right now. I'd be fine with giving her that liberty is what I'm saying.
Now, of course, the master plan, of course, included doing the clover leaf, pairing with the ball fields. Are you talking about everything, or are you talking about just the?
I think as I've stated on
The
the
part
other,
with all the tennis court, the walking track,
that upper end of the,
Okay.
be the south end of the master plan, minus the ballparks. We don't have the room for the ballparks, folks. We don't own the property that was put on the master plan.
Okay, I wanted to clarify, when you say ask for the whole master plan, like you're talking about the whole thing, or
Right.
Part of a
Like
section.
you said, we don't even own that property.
The upper south end of it, it had the walking tracks.
Right.
It had the, tennis courts, volleyball courts, the multi-use field, all those pieces were there.
Okay.
In that piece. I think the only piece missing that we discussed was lighting of that area. And there wasn't much lighting on the master plan, even though it had walking tracks, it didn't have them lit, if I remember correctly.
Correct. And then, because they do bleachers, I would like to include renovating the bleachers at the ball field. I mean, if they came out, did a site survey and looked at that and saw those, they would see that that's a very viable ask. Restroom renovations, they do those. That restroom at the ball field is sketchy, and Cliff does all he can do with it.
We cleaned it up this year. We went in and sealed the floors with a good concrete sealant and repainted them. Put some new toilets in. We're fixing to put a little camera system over there, so. We've done a lot with those, but they're still what they are. They're cinder block bathrooms.
It wouldn't hurt if they could come in and build us some brand new ones there. It'd be awesome.
start at the basketball court and go south.
Basketball court, goes
Yeah.
south and east.
Yeah.
That part of the plan.
Yeah. Okay.
That was my look for her. And if she says that there's less opportunity there than we think, you might want to go smaller and have a better chance, then great. I just, that's why I would like to know what's in these grants. Did they ask for a bunch and get parts, or did they only get what they asked for? That's why I
I look
like
forward to our next meeting with her.
to turn her pretty loose though. to go
Yeah,
and get
let her
moved.
go after it.
I think that's what she was asking for. Give her an idea of what we want to do, and she would
She can go right in that
Go
way.
from there.
But I want her expertise in that knowledge of what do you think's our best bet? Are we better to go and ask for these 4 things that are needed? Or are we better to say, hey, here's our master plan. This is the area we'd like to focus on right now. Here's what we think it would cost us. That's my thinking. I'd like to give her that liberty to say, we're starting here, moving from there.
Aim high.
But if aiming high is good.
Yeah.
She can give us that insight as well. Yeah.
I agree 100%. If aiming high is good.
Yeah.
If they're gonna value it on, here's how much you're asking for, and here's the number of people we think we serve,
Mhm.
it's not worth that ask. I don't want to get kicked out because we aimed higher than we could get.
Understood.
Right. We have,
Any more for her, or do we just turn her loose?
I'll need to get it back to
Put
you
it down.
to-
Yeah, she said she would watch the video and she'll get back to us pretty quick.
so she has it all. Perfect. Do we have anything else?
The fence stays were sold for $50 a piece.
There we go. While we're here, putting that back in, or do we want to stay with that same number? Does that sound fair?
Or do you wanna,
In opening it up, leaving it at $50 for additional names to be added.
do you leave it at 50 or that was how many years ago? Or you wanna make it 100?
Well, that's what
But also back to you were getting that plank, so you had something kind of more permanent. This is you putting your name on a flag.
That's a lot, that's more permanent than a wood, the piece of wood that
Well,
rots.
it is, but the fence post conceivably is something you go put, and we've been talking about, give these posts to people to the original who bought them, what is it? 50 seems high for, I guess, maybe the less tangible, I can go.
It's the donation, it's the mention for the donation, I think.
Yeah, but it's not for your name on the flag, you're donating to the park. You're getting your name on the flag.
I certainly ask that we don't go less than 50.
Absolutely.
Right.
At that point, it's gonna start costing money to put the name on the flag.
People that are getting their name put on the plaque that had a wood stave are getting their name on the plaque for $50 now at this point. The way I look at that, I do not want to go less.
I just got one question. We're going with a flag, and it's gonna be on the wall. Should we have some kind of covering over it, to help with the rain? I mean, a flag's eventually gonna tarnish. It don't have to be a big roof or something like he said, the eaves of the bathroom. I like the wall better, but it could have some kind of small roof over. Just because it's going to tarnish no matter what, but that would help.
I think personally, at some point, we're gonna be talking about a cost here. There's still a cost involved. That might be decently. I don't disagree with the option, of the piece we're talking about, but we're also gonna get into some more. I care not which way, if the group wants to go that way, I don't see it as a need at this point myself. But if we do, we move that way.
I will say that a bronze plaque, as they start to oxidize, as he's saying, the curators of fine art call that patina. And they would refer to that as highly desirable, the more patina that it has on it. If you ever go antique shopping, the more patina that's on a piece of metal, the higher it is. Just throwing that out there as an observation. There we have it.
Donations available.
The original investment was $50, 20 whatever years ago. I just don't, I don't see what would be wrong with asking 100 for going forward because it's 2024. I mean, you're gonna spend a third of that having the names added. At which time you're buying a shovel of gravel.
Are we gonna put a deadline on it?
We're gonna have to.
How are you gonna advertise this? What's the plan? I mean,
it just got mentioned a minute ago. We need to define this plan.
It was pretty well laid out 20 years ago. And it takes some voices saying, hey, here it is, here's what's going on, here's your options for it to actually sell. I mean, we've got websites, we've got options there that can get it.
We've got the
going.
VIDAP, we got Jerry Richmond that can.
What we need
We
a
know what-
scale of what it's gonna look like and what you're getting and a why. That's exactly right. The
When are you
goal-
wanting to start this? Are you wanting to start it after the park is completed? Are you wanting to start it tomorrow?
Looks like we need to get a quote for a certain number of names, before we see how expensive it's gonna be. We may have to go to 100. We don't know till we get a quote.
I mean, we already have 1,300 names to put on a plaque, right?
That is a bunch.
That's a lot.
That is a large plaque or two,
That's gonna be a big flag.
or 3 or 4, as she said.
It may have to be on both sides.
That's what, you should talk about the bathroom. We'll brick the whole bathroom. Put flags already. I've got people interested in the brick deal. I mean, they're willing to pay that. And plus, and the lady I've talked to said she needs 11 or 12 of them. You know, you just have to put that out there, but if y'all are not wanting to do that, I mean, with a plaque, gonna.
What part do you think's the best suggestion then?
I'd like to see it in a sidewalk, because they're talking about building a sidewalk on the inside of that park anyway, for the mothers to walk around while they're exercising. I don't by any means want it done like it's done over at the courthouse. That's the sloppiest job I've ever seen in my life. But I would like to see it done like a brick wall, just laid down and you know,
What if it's two separate things? What if it's a campaign now to raise money for bricks moving forward, but we also have a plaque for the people, the original donations?
Yeah.
Yes. Let's do a plaque for the
The
original
original benefactors. There you go.
and put that on a plaque and be done with that. And then we do a new fundraiser for bricks to go around the sidewalk.
or brick the bathroom. We can
Or
brick the
whatever,
bathroom
yeah.
and if, you know, if we have enough names to do it, fine. If not, we'll just buy the matching bricks, the red brick or whatever color brick we buy, and, you know, have a black name. I'm telling you what I'm hearing. If y'all, maybe y'all wanna talk to some people and come back to me, and we'll talk about this again.
My concern, and I don't disagree with you, if we're gonna do it on in the sidewalk. When's it's gotta be done July 13th, right?
That's their deadline. I mean, I don't know.
So our sidewalk doesn't have to be poured by that point.
I think that's our local guy, right?
Yes, and that's the sidewalk going into the park.
What about the walk track?
I think the sidewalk going around is part of Cunningham's group. So we may need to go back and look at that just to make sure.
They think about it, why can't they do it?
That's why I was wondering where we're at in this case, because that part of it, I love the idea of putting it inside a sidewalk. I think that was a conversation we had the last time. Love the idea. I didn't realize that it was it seemed if it was gonna be more cumbersome, I thought that felt like a way we didn't want to go at that point, but I think it looks good. It's but I don't want to slow down the park that we're at right now.
Right.
For that to happen. Now, we do have to redo the sidewalk into it and some of that area. That's what we're talking about, putting in those bricks.
We can measure it and see how many square feet is there and how many bricks we can get in that spot. If that's the case, then we can do that. And by selling the bricks, it more than pay for it.
Yes. I like the plan. That's a great plan for that piece. And the bricks we've got to put in that area. That's the one we're talking about. So I love your plan.
So we're gonna end up with a plaque and some bricks, it looks like.
So what we're selling is bricks for
Future.
laying down
For
into
the
the
current.
sidewalk and going into the park.
Do we want to consider giving the people who had a wood post that their names on there? Do we want to consider giving them the option to upgrade?
No, they can buy a brick for $100. Their name goes on the plaque because they bought the wood
I
plaque.
mean,
Now
that,
they can buy a
that fundraiser thing is just, they suggest $100
I think it's a fair
thing.
number though.
It is fair. I think it's fair.
It was $50. When was that? 20 years ago?
Oh, way more than 20 years. Yes.
So $50 then is $100
150,
now.
yeah. I like the idea of the plaque. And I love the idea of selling bricks.
For the people,
That have already-
previous one, I mean, some of them, I mean, my grandmother was one and she's not here anymore. And
Love the idea of a plaque for those people. And then I love the idea of selling bricks in 2024.
Some of them are great.
So how do we find out the cost of these plaques and who makes them? Does anybody have any insight on who did these? Cliff does?
I'll get started on it tomorrow. I'll call Lafette. There's a trophy shop up there and they build all these kind of plaques and stuff like that, so it won't be an issue. And we've had them made all over the county, so.
Perfect.
Got one right out here, so it's not been that long ago we had them made.
Perfect. Is there anything else we need to bring up this evening?
What kind do y'all want? Or you want a brass plate with the etching, or do you want the raised letters like what we have out here?
Kind of like what you see at the entrance of a school?
100 names raised like that. I can't
Woo,
imagine.
yeah, that's a ton.
So etched in a brass plate
Or less, right?
or bronze
Or
plate.
price on that one.
I'll get the price on both of them.
I can't imagine the turnaround time on that's gonna be just tremendously quick either.
But I won't disagree, but if we've got a plan and we know what we're building, we have the space for it to go once it's there.
Right.
We know it's coming, so that part is done. We know where it's going, the setup for it's gonna be there, we'll know the size by then surely, and what's gotta be built for that area. I mean, I'm imagining a block wall with brick around it and over it. If we sell enough bricks, we can put part of them there. I mean, honestly, we've got the plan for it, now we've got a piece, if we run out of space on the. Exactly, to a T. If we run out of, space on the, we run out of space, you draw me that, you draw. If we run out of space on the sidewalk going in to lay those bricks in, then we've got an additional bit of space there, we'll know where we're going. I think we've got enough space here to make that work.
What happens when we get somebody's names on the plaque, would rather would have had a brick. What's their option? They can buy bricks. still.
And buy brick.
Yeah, they can still buy a brick now.
They're getting the plaque for free, right?
Right.
Yeah,
The plaque is not costing them a piece, they've already paid for that option, is what we've said here in this case. We'll have to eat some money, probably.
but a piece of wood that has sat out there in the weather for that long, it's not sustainable to try and save that and then remount it and try to use it again in the future.
Well, the thing about it is, some of them are broken out. I mean, they've been, the kids have kicked them and they're broke. So when we rebuild that, guys, what about the one that's got a piece missing or had a knot in it and it's gone, or, you know, it's a little more rotten than the bottom than the other. They're
It's,
gonna-
that turns into a project of astronomical.
And all new wood fencing, and I don't know what to do with it.
That, we took care now of the staves, that when you go through them and find out the names that we gotta put on, then we can give an option forward. Here's the ones we have. You can come grab these at this place, we can set that up. So I don't see anything we're missing.
You said the board might have a list of those names.
What would that have been, a 386 or a 486 computer at that point? I'm just kidding. It's probably on a 5 1/4 floppy if he's got that information. But anyway,
Probably on a piece of paper somewhere in a folder.
That's probably very true, where they were ordered from on some of these papers.
that's right. All right, do we have anything else to come before us before we adjourn? Well,
You know, we'll do the next meeting.
yeah, let's look at that. Amy?
What do you think we need to do? You said the 11th of May was the last secondary date of the training certification. Do we need to do it right after that to make sure we're good?
Yeah.
So that would put you at Wednesday, the 15th or Thursday, the 16th.
I like Thursday better than Wednesdays. We got revivals coming up.
Sounds good. Thursday, the 16th, is that what you said? That was the Thursday, 16th, sounds good then?
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Hopefully different location.
Because,
Hopefully at the courthouse, I believe that's the case.
hopefully you that place.
And same bat time, different bat channel.
Motion to adjourn.
Yeah,
Second.
perfect. Righty.
Voting yes.